the sweet spot, the sweet spot, the sweetest place in town, the sweet spot.
Hi everybody, my name is Alieshia and I'm the host of Behind the Brand. It is a talk show where I interview entrepreneurs, content creators about their businesses and how they are building their brand whenever they start into where they are right now. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below about your favorite part. Today I have with me Mr. and Mrs. LETT.
Hello, I'm
and they own the Sweet Spot in RADCLIFF, Kentucky. So make sure when y'all come to the city, y'all check them out. I'll be asking them a couple of questions. I'll let them introduce themselves, and hopefully you all enjoy the interview.
Again, I'm Frank LETT.
And I'm Jeannie LETT. We moved here, well, I moved here from South Carolina. We met down in Savannah, Georgia, and we came to RADCLIFF, Kentucky by way of Fort Knox. My husband is prior military, 21 years, right?
Yeah, 21 years, no Army.
So we got here since then, and we brought with us our kids. We're a blended family, of course, so we have 6 kids between the two of us. And so we brought 4 men with us.
Yes, 4 kids.
4 of them with us, and then I've always said that I wanted to decorate wedding cakes, just kind of on a whim, because I like baking and I want to decorate wedding cakes. And then he comes home one night and tells me basically that he's signed me up for some classes. And of course, I'm like, what? And he signed me up for some classes to learn how to decorate cakes. And that's kind of how we got started. What were you thinking when you signed me up?
I just know she had a love for baking, and so I wanted to support her in that and her passion. And so she started baking, and it's been we've been off and running ever since.
Yes, well, congratulations. Y'all kind of answered my questions a little bit. But did you always know that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
For me, no. I've always said I don't have a business mind. I'm an educator. Because 23 years in public education, high school principal in Louisville, Kentucky right now, high school assistant principal. And so for me, education has always been my thing. I love people, I love education. So I never really thought about business, to be honest, because I just felt as educators we have such kind hearts and thoughts, so I didn't think about business, honestly. So no, not really.
I did.
Okay.
I did. So my father was a general contractor. Started off working for somebody, and then eventually developed his skills and began to work for himself. So I watched my dad, again, go from employee to owner, from handyman to general contractor, and he ran his own business, Anthony's Home Improvements, for many years. And so that inspired me, that he could go out with what he knew and create a business. And so that was awesome for me, and it always gave that me the inspiration to one day do that for myself.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So I know you talked about how you got started with the classes and stuff like that, and you seen your dad with it. So how did you get started with your part for business? Of course, it happened you seen it, be inspired, but what else? What was some steps that you took to be okay, I want to start a business too? Okay,
well, honestly, I just always had that desire in me. And then once we combined that with Jeannie's passion for baking, the two just kind of came together, just like our marriage. It was just a perfect fit. So Jeannie began baking cupcakes, and they were delicious. And, one night we're sitting in bed, and she's pecking away on the laptop. I said, "Hey, what you doing over there?" She said, "I'm creating an LLC."
Okay.
So just Cupcakes was born. And she just wanted to do cupcakes, and that's what the name was. But over time, she began to experiment and grow, and through that, my business acumen combined with her passion, and it just began to grow and grow and grow.
Yes, because you did start with just cupcakes, so let's talk about that. You started with that, and now you are making everything, aren't you?
When he signed me up for the class, of course, the class was at Michael's. It was a Wilson class, and I had an awesome teacher, and she taught us how to do both cupcakes and cakes, but I was like, I came home and I was like, cupcakes are so much easier. I was like, cakes are a lot of work. I'm just gonna be just cupcakes, and literally that's what in my mind I was gonna do is stick to just cupcakes. I was gonna be a cupcake queen. I was gonna have all kind of cupcakes, make beautiful different flavors, and that was going to be my thing. And so we were just cupcakes was born. That was my thought. And then of course, people, as people do, loyal customers, they started asking, well, do you do this? And I think one thing about me, I do have somewhat of a competitive spirit. So when they started asking me, can you do it? I was like, most of the time I say, I'll try it. He said, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I'll try it. I'll see. And I started out doing it for just a few people, and that's kind of how we expanded. And then all of a sudden, I found myself joining all these Facebook groups on treats and sweets, and I look on there and so many, just awesome things that I see people do. And now I'm like, I can do that. I can do that too. I definitely can do that. And so it's now I kind of just have that passion just to whatever I see, I want to at least try it and grow with it. So that's how we expanded to the sweet spot now. So we kind of do everything.
Yes, I like that too. And the key to what you were saying is like when you listen to your audience, they really tell you what you want to do. So like you don't even have to market. They're asking you, you're like, okay, I didn't think about that, but you want it? I can make it. Let me get the price together. Okay. So I like that too. It's like listening to your audience, like making sure that you are serving your customers so that they can come back. And another thing too is good with like just cupcakes and sweets is like you always have like repeat customers because people have birthdays all the time, weddings all the time. Like it's always going to be like an anniversary or something like that. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I tried the hot cocoa things. Those are good too. Yeah, the hot chocolate ones, right?
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah, so that's good too. So you talked about it. You talked about your process and like how long it took, how you got from where, but how long did it take from just cupcakes to opening the sweet spot? Like how many years would you say that took?
Just Cupcakes got started in 2018, and actually we probably would not have been the sweet spot if he had kicked me out of the house. Because he was working now to see that the kitchen no longer belonged to the family. It was just Cupcakes, and I'd buy stuff and I'd be like, that's just Cupcake stuff. You can't get that. The pantry was just Cupcakes pantry. I was like, y'all stuff on the other side. And so I moved in the pantry, and then he started putting shelves in the garage, and then the garage kind of took over. And so I don't know, one day we were talking about it, and we teeter-tottered a lot, especially with COVID. We weren't sure how business was going to go. But then we started seeing a lot of businesses just popping up out of nowhere in COVID. And so we were like, okay, if these people all of a sudden can just come up with these businesses, we can do it too. And one day he's like, yeah, you gotta go.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, you gotta get out of the kitchen.
And it was more, and it was that, but it was more than that. There was a feeling in my spirit that it was time. I felt like God was moving us in a direction, and He wanted us to start looking in that direction. And so that's what we did.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because timing is perfect too, but then also it's like, when do you know when it's time to move out and to grow? And like you believe, and you're like, oh no, like you can have a spot, you can have a building. Like a lot of people start in the houses, but it's like some people might move too fast, but I feel like y'all move like right at the same time because of COVID and everything. It's like, oh my goodness, everything was shut down, and I would have been having a bill and couldn't get no people to come in. It's like, when is the right timing to move out? So I like that how you like, okay, we got the garage. Okay, now you gotta go to the next spot. You gotta go to the next spot. So
she literally outgrew the house. And so that was an indicator. She talked about COVID. I would tell you, we saw a lot of business growth during COVID. We actually had a spike in sales during COVID, and so that was another indicator that things would continue to grow. And ultimately, I would tell you that Jeannie's desire is to make people smile, and so the opportunity to be a part of people's celebrations and birthdays and those things, those really bring a smile to her face to see the customer smile. And so again, it was there was timing, there was a feeling in my spirit that it was time, and we began to search. We looked at different buildings, but I would tell you, God led us here. Some things happened that just lined up that led us here. When we got this building, it wasn't advertised. It was just somebody who knew somebody that I happened to ask, and it just changed events. led us here.
That is really cool. That's good. It's all about who you know too sometimes. What was your most popular dessert during COVID that was like selling?
Cheesecake.
Yeah, my cheesecake jars kind of took off during that time. People, I took a class, Facebook class, and people just started falling in love with them. So they just became super popular. Even yesterday at the grand opening, we had a limited amount and people were coming back, by 4, 5, 6 of them. Mm-hmm. So I think that just kind of took off doing that. Of course, the cupcakes and cakes, because people did have their birthdays and stuff. They did well too, but I think the cheesecake cups and jars were most popular.
Okay, yeah, I do know the cheesecake jars. That is so cool. I like that. So, in this entrepreneurship journey, what does success mean to y'all?
Okay, well, I guess it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I would tell you, it's funny you ask, because we were sitting in a room with some of our church family, and we were talking kind of about profit and stuff, and I looked at my wife, and very clearly it was like, this is not about profit. I said, we would do this even if we broke even. We might even do this and take a loss, because we really enjoy, baking can be a ministry. Right? Mm-hmm. So again, it goes back to just being able to be a blessing to people, to be a part of their special moments and their special events, and to know that we're helping people create good memories for them and their loved ones. And so that's really what it's all about for us.
I'd agree with that definitely, and I'd add to be able to give my kids, our kids, grandkids something, because we believe in growing, of course, the legacy and keep it going. So it's something that I would hope that they would attach themselves to and kind of give them that motivation to do their own thing too, even if it's not a bakery. Like our daughter in Texas, she has her own hair, sells wigs and things of that nature, so she has her own business. And so we just want them to get that entrepreneurship thing in their spirit, so we can have that kind of generational growth. So right now, for us, we're the boots on the ground. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
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 I'm not military. I'm just married. I've heard you say boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And so we're building that foundation, and hopefully, they'll take it, and not just for our kids, but for the community, things of that nature. I talk to my students about entrepreneurship, because there are a lot of kids who want business, and I talk to them about the process, and that it's a lot of work. We were here for the last 2 weeks till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yes,
absolutely.
They just had a grand opening, so congrats on that too. Yes.
So tomorrow will probably be the first day that we can actually get some real sleep for the last 2 weeks. And we thank our church family. They've been here with us as well. Your parents, as well. And so we hadn't gotten any sleep, but I just let them know that you have that desire to be an entrepreneur, but it takes that work too. And they have to understand that, because of course we want them to be successful. So I just want to, like I say, the whole thing can be a ministry. So I just want to use what I've learned to help other people as well.
Yes, you gotta really be dedicated, and you really have to have like a drive for it too. And y'all speak a lot about passion, and growing up, you don't really hear that like your passion can be profitable. But now, like when you get older and you learn about like entrepreneurship and stuff like that, it's like you can make profits off of your passions and different things that you have. So I think that's also cool too, for people to know that like they can transition, like whatever you're passionate about, you can make profit. But not all the time. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can do that.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's what success looks like to us. Impacting our community in a positive way, opening doors for our kids, and being an example for those people that we come in contact with.
Yes, I love that y'all talked about generational wealth as well too. It's like just having the conversation of like, oh, this can be passed down opportunity, but also like, okay, y'all can start your own thing. Y'all don't have to do just cupcakes. But yes, I like that as well too, because that's important. And I feel like we're talking about it more now with like money and stuff like that with generational wealth. We didn't always have that, so like we are boots on the ground, trying to start it for our families and stuff like that too. So I think that is really important, and knowing that you can start your business, and that is in some way how you can create generational wealth. Of course, there's other ways to do it too, but that could be one of the ways too. So I like that idea. So speaking of what you all do, what is one great advice you got when you started your business?
I think I can't remember exactly who said it to me, but someone was just telling me that you have to take care of yourself, and they were talking about more through the process because we were just getting started. They were like, you have to make sure you take care of yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, because it can be draining. So, learn to listen to your body, your mind, because it's a lot. But if you want to be good for other people, you have to be good to yourself first. And so that was, to me, most important, because I think we were burning the candle on both ends and in the middle as well. And we had to some days just step back and take care of ourselves. So I would say to anybody, don't let the drive for money or whatever it is remove you from remembering to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, unfortunately, you can't take it with you. You can leave it for somebody else, but you can't take it with you. So you want to be able to enjoy life.
That's true.
That's stuck out to me.
That's good. Yeah, balance is definitely important, and research is good too. The one thing about opening a storefront is we didn't jump into this business at the opening of the storefront. We've been in business for 3 years as a home-based business. Jeannie has built a great customer base, and so moving to a storefront, it made sense. I think some people make the mistake of, I want to do a business, and they go out and they jump into a storefront without really understanding or having a foundation for the business, and then so they're not really sure about what they're doing, and then they have trouble moving forward. So being able to build something and then let that thing grow as the demand grows and as you perfect your craft, whatever that craft is, I think that's also very important as you move towards a retail location, if that's what you're trying to do.
Yes, I like that, having a foundation, because retail locations are expensive. So you got to have the customer base. You got to be able to produce so that you can keep that up and stuff like that. So I really like that foundation. And y'all kind of touched on my next question, but it is like, I know y'all are married, I know you have kids and you work and stuff like that as well. So how do you all balance like family, work, and even personal goals that's like not attached to the business? Like, how do y'all do all that, like balance that, like day to day?
Like I said, for the last couple of weeks, we've truly been off balance because, we knew yesterday was coming, and so we had to get it right. But I think now we realize that we have, set hours and things of that nature. So our goal is to get back to that point where we do find balance. With our hours, right now, we have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday by appointment only. So for me, that was important so that I could reset and then spend some time with me, with the family, and doing whatever before the big weekend comes. And I'm forced to deal with a lot of other things, and have to deal with my awesome customers and that kind of thing. But that's what the weekend would be. But, at least a couple days out of the week, I want to just be able to spend time with the family and get myself back to a good place. So I think after yesterday, we can find our balance back, and we definitely, I'm already talking about we got to close down for a weekend and take a vacation.
It's important. Okay, you can always be working when you're working.
It is. I will be honest and say when somebody, I think your mom actually said Thanksgiving is Thursday. I was like, we get to be closed Thursday. So the first official business closing, but it's important, and so we will get back there because that's important to us to be able to spend some time with each other, with our family. Family dinners are important to us, so we want to definitely get back there. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We know how important, knowing how important balance is the first step in having balance. So we're very cognizant of that, and we will definitely work it out, make sure that our schedule works. We have time set aside for us.
So it's okay to still be working on stuff, still learning, always learning and growing, because balance is kind of hard too. When you just keep going, you're like, oh, I need that work. You just gotta relax, yes. So that's good too. And with the balance, and everybody knows y'all married and stuff like that, and so like y'all work together. So how is it working with your spouse?
I'll be honest, it has its challenges sometimes, We complement each other very well. but we also have clashes sometimes. So we just have to learn how we fit together. And I think that's true in the kitchen. I think it's true in other areas of our life. But again, we're not made to be identical. We're made to complement each other. And it's that meshing where we cover each other. Her weaknesses are my strengths and my weaknesses are her strengths. And so that's what makes it great. So I think for the most part, I think we do very well, but it's been a process. I think we just continue to get better as we go.
I would agree with that, and I will say as the baker, the artist, I do get anal sometimes about my stuff. So a lot of sometimes the conflict is, I want it in my mind how I want it, and of course he can't read my mind. So that's just it. It's just learning to communicate. What I expect or what I'd like or things of that nature. Because again, as the person who does it, in my mind, I know what I'm going to do. I know how I want it to look. When it's done, this cocoa ball needs to look like this. And if I just say to him, do this, and it doesn't, then I'm like, well, what? It doesn't look like the picture in my head. So we've learned, I think that has been a valuable lesson, is that we have to communicate what we want, what we expect. And that has been the thing that has basically kept us being able to work together. But as you said, it has its challenges.
It does. Because we're also learning that everything doesn't have to be exactly the way we want it. That's something that I'm learning. That's something that Jeannie's learning. We're working together, but we have different visions for something, and we're learning to be okay with each other's vision. That's important as well.
Okay, so would you suggest working with your spouse? Sorry.
I say yes because because the lessons you learn can be applied to other areas of the marriage, whether it be finances, whether it be bringing up the children, whatever it is. And you learn that trust factor, and you learn that just because it's different, it's still okay. And so I think there's a lot of lessons learned that we grew, I think, as husband and wife through the challenge that is the kitchen.
That's funny. And what you said was important too, is like knowing visions, because people do have different visions. People see things differently, and everything's like, okay, well, this isn't mine, but you kind of like also kind of got to compromise and like, okay, we're gonna work together to like figure that out. So that's good too, because some visions be looking different than everybody else's visions. So you're like, okay. Okay, so we're wrapping it up now. So this is my last question, and what should we look forward to next from the LETT?
Awesome.
Well, we definitely want to grow the sweet spot. That right now is our goal at this time. I'm an educator, he's military, so we believe in definitely setting goals. And so one of the goals that we definitely have in mind, I think, is just to grow where we are right now. And so we want the sweet spot to become, I don't want to say a local hangout, but we want it to be a community place. If you look at the building, a customer walked in this morning and she said, this doesn't look like a typical bakery. And that's what we want when we got it here. We want it to be a place that people want to come in with their families, with their colleagues, with their friends, and just sit down and enjoy dessert. So it's not just a bakery where you walk in and pick up 2 dozen donuts and walk immediately and walk out. It's a place where you come in and you enjoy each other. You come in and you just say, hey, you want to meet me at the sweet spot? Let's grab a cup of coffee and a few cocoa balls or something. Some chocolate cup strawberries to take home to the wife, whatever the case may be. And so that's what we want. We wanted to be that place for everybody to be welcome and just come in. There's just a certain air when you walk in that it just makes you feel like, yeah, I'm gonna grab a chair and just sit down.
Like community building.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we want. We want to figure out what the community wants from us and try to grow that. And then my daughter's already said the next one, next sweet spot 2, will be in Texas.
Okay, I was gonna ask, is there another spot coming?
So she's got to put that out there. So sweet spot 2 will, I guess, be in Texas.
Yes. What about you? Do you have anything?
Yeah, just what my wife said. We want to grow and grow this place right now. It is definitely, we want it to be a community place. I think we've got something for everybody. If you want to bring your significant other, we've got window seating, a quiet table for 2. If you want to bring the family, we've got larger tables. And if you just want to treat yourself, you can sit at the bar. And so I just think that We have something for everybody. And again, we just want this to be a community place where people come and enjoy themselves and leave with a smile on their face.
Yes, I definitely love that. Looking at the place, I do see the bar, the seating. I see all the different arrangements. Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
And we've also pledged to do one special event per month. So we're going to do game night. We're going to do paint and sips. I just booked a chef who's going to do a cooking class.
Okay.
And so we're going to do, at a minimum, one event a month here for the community where the community can come in and do something special.
I love that. And so if people, are in the RADCLIFF area, I don't know who's watching this, but if they come to the RADCLIFF area or they're already here, where can they find you at to keep up with like your events, different things that are going on?
We're on Facebook, of course. It's under The Sweet Spot, formerly just Cupcakes. But if you look up The Sweet Spot, we're there. Our new website is coming. It's under construction, so pretty soon we'll have that out for you as well. And that's www.thessdesserts.com. Yes, thesweetspotdesserts.com.
Yes, and if you're in the local area, we are at 301 West Lincoln Trail right here in RADCLIFF, Kentucky.
Yes, so if you are in the area, make sure y'all come and check out the Sweet Spot. And I'm telling y'all, the hot chocolate bombs are good, okay? And so is the chocolate covered strawberries. I don't even like strawberries like that, but those are good. So yes, come and check them out. And just also pay homage to Black entrepreneurs, small cities. Okay, we coming through. This can be a big city one day because there's a lot of entrepreneurship going around in the RADCLIFF area. Okay.
So even if you aren't in RADCLIFF, I'd say ride out and give us a visit. I mean, it definitely will be worth the drive or the flight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, I want to say thank y'all so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hope y'all enjoyed it. And make sure y'all check them out. Make sure y'all come share with people that y'all know, and make sure y'all tune in for the next episode. Bye. Yes, everybody's gonna see it. Hi, Michelle. Ready? Okay. I'm gonna be there for the no. All right.